Hello, friends. Good morning. Um, and I hope we are having a wonderful weekend and a great Sunday service. Today, I will be having a very important discussion with my brother, in the person of Dr. Victor Bamishaye, a continuation of our talk on the challenges that the problem in Nigeria, and how to resolve it. He made mention of something very critical. Welcome, sir, my brother, to this great meeting and discussion.
Thank you, sir.
What he did this morning is another move to let Nigeria see the problem we have caused ourselves. Nigeria is in very serious mess. I can't lie to you. Serious one. And every corner you turn, there's one church. As if the church of this one is the God of this one is different from the God of the other one. So ministry is also defined in Nigeria now as who has church is a pastor. If you don't have church, if you don't have church yet, you are not yet in ministry. But that's not the discussion for this morning. We are here to continue a very important point you raised the other time we met.
Sir.
I hope you can hear me very well, sir.
I hear you very well.
And then people at home, please, we want you to also give us your feedback. Can you hear us? Is our picture clear enough so that we know that we are not just talking to ourselves? You raised a very important point that got me thinking. And you said, among every other thing that Nigeria needs to know, that the society itself is a producer of wrong leaders. I ask you, should we say those who occupy public offices are the problem of Nigeria? There you said is symptomatically true, yes. But the real truth is not that those who occupy offices, but collapse of our societal value. You made mention of this, and then everyone who want to see that video should go to my page. You will find a program I had with my brother on this topic. But today, we are not the type of people who come to condemn a thing without finding solution to it. And you go further by telling us of a book you wrote that is titled Rebirth. I've gotten that book and I read it. And then some fact, practical step of transforming nations was discussed. And I will take it one after the other. In your first chapter, you spoke about something. You said, the need for questioning. This is a quote that got my attention so much. He who asks question is a fool for 1 minute. He who does not ask questions is fool forever. Then you go further explaining what the role question play in inventions, how Nigeria educational system has keep questioning. All those things were discussed in that talk, but I would love you to talk to us. How can we use act of questioning how can we imbibe the culture, the value of questioning, knowing so well that even our culture against questioning? So when you tell people that let your children ask questions, they will tell you, they must not disagree with others. So what can we do at this point in time?
If you look at the original Yoruba culture before the invention of these churches,
okay,
you'll see that what it did not tolerate was disrespect. It was not questioned.
Ooh.
That's why they said That's why you see Agbọ̀kún bí ewì, Agbọ̀kún hùwà bàjẹ́, tágbà bá hùwà bàjẹ́, a máa ṣe nǹkan fún wọn ni.
Hold on, it seems you are breaking. I don't know if it's from me alone, but I want people to comment as well. Please, friends, can we hear Dr. Bamishaye? Because it seems you are breaking. But I don't know if it's for me alone or
Really?
it's also the same from other. But for me, you are breaking. So let us hear from their feedback while you continue.
Okay. So in the olden days, even kings were held to account. Of course, there were despotic kings, but that's why even their laughing, there was a Bashonga to hold him to account. Elders were held to account. What the Yoruba culture frowned at was disrespect from the younger one because they take age seriously. But what had happened was that because of this, even the elderly person understands what responsibility is. So he often does not leave space for him to be questioned because he knows the role he has to play as an elder. But when these church things came, of course, there were dilutions and we are where we are right now. But the question I think you are asking is, how can we imbibe this questioning, and how can we use it to better our
Please,
lives?
before you go on,
the
people are saying you are breaking, but I think the volume is good for me now. Hold on, because it's good now. Maybe they are responding to the question I asked previously. So please, if it is okay now, let us also know. But people say you are breaking. Maybe they are responding for my previous questions. So continue, sir.
Maybe I will need to go outside. Maybe outside.
Now, for me, you are good from me. You are good. I'm hearing you clearly. Maybe they need to respond and say that, okay, you are good now. So continue. Let us wait for their response. If they say you are still breaking, then you have to go outside. But for now, from me, I'm hearing you clear. So please, friends, help us respond. Let us know if you are hearing Dr. Bamishaye clearly. And if you are also hearing me well, let us know. Continue, sir.
Yes, sir. So there's a need, first of all, to teach parents as of now. There's a whole need for reorientation, and that's what we are trying to do. There's a whole need for reorientation in Nigeria. Parents have to be reoriented to let them know that the act of questioning of a kid not only helps him to know, but it helps him to develop even in terms of his neurons. Because the more neurons you put, the more information you put in the mind of a child, the faster his neurons multiply. And the neurons are the cells in the brain. So such a child will grow up to be an even more healthy adult. So that's one. Two, we need to teach parents themselves how to be personalities. Because if you are not a personality, you cannot value what it means to produce personality or what it means for personalities to exhibit themselves. I don't know if you get my point. Clearly. So parents who are not personalities, they themselves were not brought up to ask questions. They only continue in that line. So by the time they are telling their kid to shut up, you ask too much questions. It's not because they are trying to be wicked. It's because that's all they've known all their lives. So if we want to change it, we need to teach parents. We need to teach teachers. There must be a new mode of teaching right from primary school. You will see in that book I showed you, I demonstrated how right from primary school, they kill questioning. The teacher says, who does not understand? You raise up your hand. Let's say you do it like 3 times. Say, this one is an Olodo. He said he doesn't know anything. So from that, the child who does not want to be labeled now will never ask questions, even when he doesn't understand. Do you understand? Yes. He does not understand though. He was lost from the second statement of the teacher. Now, such a child, how does it grow up to ask more questions? So we need to educate teachers, we need to educate parents. At least if we do those two, they are the primary source of influence in
Who are
an
the
average
we?
child's life. Well, as of now, the we can only be those of us who know. So those of you who know now must begin to take that conscious responsibility. You know, I have a cousin, and that she has a daughter. That girl can ask questions for Africa.
Mm.
So one day when I was so tired of her question, I didn't tell her not to question. So I just started asking my own question more. Because you will ask let me call her my niece from now. You will ask my niece will ask you, why is the sky blue? You say because so so so. You say, why is this so so so? You say why? Say why? Keep asking why. I will never tell her not to ask. So that means for someone like me, if I meet more parents, I encourage them to allow their kids ask questions. I explain to the parents why, even if you do not know, you have to take the extra responsibility of getting them a source that knows. No question is stupid for a child. So the we right now has to be those of us who know this fact really, because it is those of us who know it that can change the system the little way we can, and those little ways will contribute to the big one, because you know, as it said, every drop makes a mighty ocean.
So, majorly, the major source through which we transmit the culture of questioning into upcoming generation, and even those who are grown up, who does not even know the value of it, is through education and parenthood. What do you think about the institutes of religion? Because religion is a major killer of questioning in Nigeria. When it comes to that aspect
When we
of
come to
religion, one of the things that you must not do is to question your leaders in the church or in the mosque. As a matter of fact, act of questioning their activities is seems to be against God. And then it has a repressal punishment that even lead to death. Touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. Is as a result of you saying, but why would pastor do this? He said, mind your tongue. Don't speak about the men of God like that way. So if you teach them from education, if you teach them from parent, but they still hold their religion belief more highly esteemed than those two sources, what do we do?
well, why I'm very concerned more about the parents is that these kids don't just go to church; it's their parents that take them there. So if the parents understand that, you've solved about 50% of the problem. But again, the problem is that the parent now is still a victim of the religious organization you've just mentioned. So what can we do to salvage that? And that's exactly what we are doing now. It's hard. It's going to be a long journey, we know, but I'm glad we started it. There has to be a countering
Hmm.
of the messages that they've known all their lives. There has to be counter messages. We have to keep asking questions till they do not understand. You know, the car that brought me after we departed in
Yeah.
Elisha, on the in road there was a prophet that was there. After we had spoken about value system, and I was telling them how the government is the least responsible agency for unemployment in Nigeria, and how it is our values. So I now went. I
Oh, 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 oh. You are frozen. Wow. This must not happen this time, please. I hope we are all here. Let me know if this frozen is happening to me alone or Dr. Bamishaye. You are
sorry,
frozen. You have to come back. You have
call
to tell
came
us
in.
again what you have said. We did not hear you.
Uh, yes. Sorry, a call came in. I can't stop that. If I was using Wi-Fi, I would have
Yes,
switched off my
same with me.
my. So yeah. He was in the car, and after I had explained why it is the average Nigerian mindset that is causing more poverty and more unemployment than the Nigerian government, I was able to present that argument and everybody listened. So I now threw a shade at the church as they are the ones who are giving the Nigerians the mindset that they have. So he was now asking, do I go to church? I said, well, I don't go. I don't go to church. And he wanted to convince me about going to church. So I was trying to explain the John 4 experience of Jesus and the Samaritan woman to explain why the focus of church or of worship of God in that sense has shifted from where to how. In terms of Jesus said, they used to worship at this mountain and in Jerusalem. That was where. But now, those who will worship, the time is coming and time is now, when those who will worship God will worship Him in truth and in spirit. That is how. So it's not about where you worship, but how you worship. So I was explaining that, and he said to me that, sir, when it comes to theology, I'm going to floor you. So I kept on explaining, and it could not contain the argument that I was presenting. You know what he said to me? He said, you don't use logic. I said, well, then you should be preaching in tongues.
We are not hearing you.
He said, you don't use logic to present the word of God. You don't use what logic and the word of God must not be together. I said, well, that's nonsense. You should be preaching in tongues because you read the Bible to understand, and you understand because there's a logic even to the scripture. There's a logic to the scripture. So just right there, I demystified the man. I don't know if you get my point. The counter argument you would have given, I showed them how even the tithes they are so passionate about. I showed them how they are not Jews, and how even if they were, if Christ did not happen, if the Christ event did not happen, how even they would never have been qualified to be in the temple. So until there's a spread of these counter messages, which shows the truth of the gospel, the church will keep people this way over the life of people. The message they are now preaching, and that will be what dictates their
We are not hearing you.
So what can we do? You can't
Whenever
hear
you
me
move
now?
back, your voice fade.
Okay, can you
Very
hear me
clear.
now? Yeah. So I said that what can we do about these churches is exactly what we have started, which is to show the people that what they are teaching you is wrong, and then present them the alternate and the true gospel.
And everyone who
will
involve himself in that must also know that he knows what he's saying. Because
yes, and then you should know there is a long-term battle, and don't expect short-term result. Don't expect that the fact that you are saying it means people will get it or that they will accept it. All you need to do, and that's what I've always been interested in, is my conscience being right with God in line with the scripture. Knowing that I've not diluted anything, I've not added my idea. I'm only speaking from light of the scripture, using it to interpret the modern day challenges that we have. So once you do that, and for the long term and you are consistent, the difference will be very clear. Somebody was asking me today while I was going through the streets showing the churches. He was saying, what impact has the franchise that I got from Pastor Sunday Adelaja produced? That I'm spreading with Pastor Sunday, the franchise. He's trying to say the church, because I called the all those RCGG and the Parliament, I called the franchise. So he's saying the church that we too we are the branches, the franchise. What are they producing? I said, well, he has to go and ask DSA, and he has to prove that I have a franchise with DSA. But if it is about my relationship with DSA, what has it produced? And I gave him just one example of how in 2 years we've been able to touch 150 lives.
Are you still there? Whoa. Hello?
You lost me again.
Hello? Oh. You get frozen. When, let us hope that the man will come back, but before he comes back, let me first welcome those who are. You are back, but wait, let me welcome those who have joined us and watching this from wherever they are watching it from. I have here Mr. Samuel Enimola. I have Nataya Samuel, Wole Banjoko, Stella Feyintola New, Wole Banjoko, Adeosun Opeyemi, Amos, Wole Banjoko, Lola Oyeniyi, Samuel Moyo, Samuel Eniola, Marvel Ogbebo. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. I'm so sorry. Mr. Samson, that one. Mr. Ambrose King, Ajifa Aderemi, Mr. Ambrose King, and Mr. Douglas Wale. You are welcome. Everybody who join us, Boli, Exenuga, Monzion, Sheyi Caleb, Dato, Rikia, Ose Peter Andrew, Adidotun Ogunoike, Shegun Fadairo, Prince Abayomi, Kerry, and I welcome everyone who joined us today. It's a privilege to have you here. And this man has been trying to share light on so many things, as he put in his book titled The New Birth. And first thing he addressed was the new
Rebirth.
Rebirth. You need to get this book and read this book on Amazon. Do you have the hard copy, sir?
And not in Nigeria.
The hard copy is not in Nigeria, but you can order for it from Ukraine. It will be posted to you anywhere, or you can go to Amazon and get that book written by Dr. Bamishaye Victor, Rebirth. And we are doing a book review on this particular book. I've taken time to read that book, and then it's a mind-blowing. He has dealt with chapter 1, but you mentioned something that will go to help us in discussing chapter 2. Respect. So you explained that respect from the angle that Nigerians, Yorubas, did not frown at questioning, but they only frown at disrespect. But I say to you, should respect be upward alone? In other words, should we consider that the younger ones supposed to respect the elders, or the elders also have a place to respect the younger one? Because respect is a value. Then, in Nigeria, as it may, respect is only demanded from those who are claimed to be below you. You that is above them, either as a political leader, as a church leader, as a father, as a mother, as elderly, you are expecting those younger ones to respect you. Meanwhile, you are not responsible to give any respect in return. I can give you an example of how church demand respect from their members. So a pastor can slap a member because he says, I am a witch for Christ. That member can be slapped and say, shut up, what a fallacy. And everybody will clap. Oh, give him more, give him more. But if you do the same, even you do half, if you do half of that to the man, you'll be crucified. That's one. So when you speak about respect being a value, what does this respect supposed to look like?
Yeah, I think you've really elucidated even many things I would have said. And what we find in Nigeria is what I call the selective respect.
Okay.
It's a selective respect. And like you said, it's demanded by those who perceive themselves to be superior from those who they perceive to be inferior. You'll be respected because of your age. You'll be respected because of your wealth. You'll be respected because of your status in the society. You'll be respected because of the job you do. You'll be respected because of your gender. Can you believe that? Your gender.
Gender is other respect.
People will disrespect a woman because she's a woman.
Mm.
I say, keep quiet. Women don't talk here.
Mm.
Can you imagine that? Women, human being like you with the same brain. The only difference in your anatomy, your physical attributes. And we will debase them. We put them to the lowest web of society. You cannot tell me you are. If you will respect the governor but cannot respect the cleaner, you cannot tell me you have respect. Because respect is a function of persons and not a function of titles.
Oh, break that down, please.
Respect the human being and not for what the human being has.
Ah, so every human being deserves respect.
Every human being must be respected.
Mm.
And it is because of this lack of respect that we have no value for the human life in Nigeria.
Mm.
I'll give you an example. The Kaduna Abuja expressway, you know how they've been kidnapping there for a long time. So there was this time that the airport in Abuja, they had to repair it. I think that was at the time I was writing the book. So it happened that now flights cannot land in Abuja. They have to land in Kaduna and then take them by rail or by road to Abuja. Now it means that the senators, the House of Representative guys, these big guys, they needed to use that road.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, they remember that there's kidnapping there. What do you think has happened?
Respect for position.
They respect their own lives because of their position, but not the life of the average Nigerian who may hold no position. In Yoruba, they say something. They say, "Olowo n sọ̀rọ̀, olola idea."
Oh,
So the respect is not for the brightest of ideas. It's a respect for the status of that person at that material time. Is he rich or not? If he's rich, he's free to talk. If he's not rich, he should.
And advanced and working nations respect idea above money.
Above anything. Ideas basically rule the world where human beings are valued. That's why a son of nobody can rise up to become somebody without knowing anybody. But in Nigeria, the respect is for who will write your recommendation.
Whoa.
That singular idea of not respecting humans is why we do not have the system of meritocracy. Because they will say, "Any to more way, no more way." So what is respected is the one who knows one or two people who has what they call long leg. A very big example is in what you went to submit, your proposal, your application.
Yeah.
If there was respect in Nigeria, we did not have application on the basis of its merit.
Yeah.
But when you had to apply external pressure, you saw how they were shaking. What has changed? Has the substance of your application changed? But when you came as just an average citizen, they felt, "Oh, Israel Good News Balogun, we don't know that name." So they were not going to respect you as such. And the same thing with me, they would have done the same thing. But when they hear Chief Kabiyesi, they hear Commissioner this thing is sending a letter, they will start shaking because they respect the title but not persons. That's the bane of our society right now.
Anyone who needed to know
A,
in details about
yes, sir.
this concept you are breaking down should go for a book titled Rebirths. That book, I tell you, I am planning. If you will help us, we need to print that book, pay you for it, print it, and give it to every of our children. Every of our children must read that book. So we have decided to even talk to you about it on how you are going to subsidize it for us. So you remove the subsidy. I mean, you had subsidy. You don't remove subsidy. You had subsidy for our own. And we are printing it. And then I think many Nigerians need to have this book, particularly the children we have in our own custody. So I beg every Nigerian who is listening to us now that this man has great, not information now, but life transforming process through which we can begin to change our nation. Respect redefined. I will put it that way. Because you have broken down what we define as respect in Nigeria just now. In Nigeria, respect, you are respected based on what you have achieved, what you have, the family you come from, not based on who you are. I'm telling you, a Yahoo guy is more respected than you that claim I hold on to integrity. Not amidst his own friend alone, even within the religious circle, within the traditional circle, even within anywhere you find anyone that can put down the money, gain the respect. But the guy that said, I will not sell my name, I will keep my integrity, is never respected. And you have mentioned something that's very heartbroken. That we even respect people based on gender. Well, we can't exhaust this book on that chapter enough on this topic. When honesty is under value, a rebirth of a nation like Nigeria, honesty did not only fly away from the window in Nigeria, honestly disappeared. you know when we say something fly away from the window, but adventure in the course of trying to fly away, we can see, but it has disappeared. We do not even know the route it took. One of the reasons why these people are even afraid of registering us is that it is unbelievable that anyone can think of helping others without having interior motive.
Ulterior motives.
So their belief is that we want to come out and run for governorship or House of Rep. So honesty has disappeared. They don't believe anyone can be honest to say, I am here because of this, and they will believe the word for it. They believe anyone who come to do this kind of a thing also want to be waiting for foreign money. They want to be collecting foreign money. That is why they are doing it. So as a result of no honesty in this country, things to even do business is extremely difficult. If anyone doubts anyone, I will not blame them, because over time we are proving again and again that we are not to be trusted. So how do we change this epidemic problem? This problem of dishonest is how do I call it? It's no longer generation. It's no longer national problem. It's now becoming generational problem, because we have successfully passed dishonest to next generation. We have successfully passed it, and we have turned it to become ways of life. You get it now. Even messages that preach on the pulpit that are not titled dishonest, how the contents, when you analyze the content of that message, they are teaching the next generation, the members, the people that are supposed to be holy people, they are teaching them dishonest. You get that? They are not teaching them dishonest. That is exactly what has happened to us. Here you come with a new set of value, honesty. Doctor, how do you think this message can be transferred to our community that can reach out to 200 million people? I really want you to take us through a practical process in which we can begin to transmit this value to our community.
Yeah, thank you so much. Just like any other problem Nigeria has, we need to get it to the grassroots. The solutions that we have emphasized and that we've brought out. Now, when it comes to dishonesty and how can we get to the point of honesty, you will see how I explain in that book that dishonesty or lack of honesty is the root cause of what we call grand corruption. And that's exactly what I was explaining to you that day, that it is not the people in position, but rather it is not the people in position, but rather the people, because it is those people, it is the dishonest citizen that becomes what we call the corrupt Nigerian leader. So how can we solve it? We need two things, and DSA is always saying that propagation. We need to propagate the right values through all the media that we know, through every means that we know. We must propagate. We must just keep speaking. And that's exactly what we are talking about right now. People must use their platform to tell people. They must know what the consequences of the dishonesty is or what they are. Why people will rather steal money. And I was explaining it in that book. How someone like Abacha will steal money in Nigeria but cannot keep that money in Nigeria because it will be a situation of Olegbe, Ole. Yeah. It means a thief stole it, another thief collected. So even the money he stole, he could not keep in Nigeria. Nowhere he went to keep it. He went to keep it where he knows that the people with whom he is speaking are honest people, where they will be accountable to the later. So even if you go around Asia, where they steal money and go to keep is a country called Singapore. Why? Because they know the people of Singapore are very honest. Why do you think World Bank, all of them, they are in Switzerland, and people are going to keep money in Switzerland? It is because if you drop your wallet in Switzerland, the person who sees it will drop it at the nearest hotel or police station. And they are going to call you and give you your thing. So this is how the average citizen in those countries live. And people will say, oh, it's because they don't have poverty. But are you not noticing that as much as we blame Nigeria for our problems, people are still going abroad and are still doing crime? Shebi US is good, Abi, but people are still going there to still be doing yahoo yahoo. Why did the good country not stop them from still being criminals? So how do we stop this now? How do we get our people to be honest? We need to propagate these values so that on the family level, every child knows the importance of honesty. My grandfather has a father who taught them, and they in turn taught my own parents, my mom and all of our cousins know this. They said a little thing is a little thing, but honesty in a little thing is a great thing. My mom passed that to me too. A little thing is a little thing. So my mom passed it to me. Our own father passed it to her. My grandfather's father passed it to him and the children. So they know that, for instance, in my family. Does that mean that there are no dishonest people in my family? No, I won't say that. But I'm saying that at least on the level of family, we grew to know that. Then if our schools have curricula or curricula that has the idea of civics, that teaches values, that promotes honesty and rewards it.
As we
If we
as
have
we
a
as we
society,
be
an
honest,
educational system that focuses more on process than result. Maybe I should take that again. We need to have an educational system
that
and a society at large that focuses more on process than result.
wow, wow.
Because if you focus on process and you know you are to teach that process, you are to pass the process on. And this process that you are going through has your name on it, has your identity on it. Then more often than not, you will see that our people will be doing things rightly because they know that it's not about the result. There's no woo to the answer. Everything must be detailed, everything must be explained. Every turn has to be accountable. So what they do is they know, they are sure that honesty must be a part of the process. But once you have a society, an educational system, or any system at all that focuses more on results, it does not care the process through which the result came. That's where people start getting rich through Yahoo Yahoo. People start getting rich through kidnapping because nobody questions the process. Okay, how did you get this money? Can you show us the process? Would you then be able to say, oh, I kidnapped to get it? I did Yahoo Yahoo to get it? Now that's what happens when a nation focuses more on results than on process. And it started from our educational system, where people who cheated in exams get A1 and we hail them. You were talking to me of some guys that you were speaking to about their work, and he was boasting, I have distinction in this, I have distinction in this, and eventually when you spoke to them, you unraveled that they were actually being helped by their teachers during the exam. Then tell me, what would those ones know to build society?
I was wondering,
Because they don't know
I
process.
began to wonder that how do you get a child to work hard when the child knows that he will get good grade at the end of the day through the help that these teachers or schools is going to provide? How do you get that child to work hard? How do you get that child to value knowledge when they know that?
The child already knows that he's going to get the result via a dishonest
Yes.
means.
So, and you are saying you want to build education. If you did not keep that spirit of dishonest of giving them results, they will continue to take it to be waste of time. I was talking to some of them. I said, you have to read, you have to study. And then what keep on coming to my mind is those who did not read will still get the same grade, even better than them. They may read and have
Than those.
but those who did not read, who are even could not even write a sentence, will still come out with A, B in their result. When this is a task, it's like a sword of Damocles on our neck. Every one of us must take this responsibility to propagate the value of honesty. And for more understanding, you have to look for that book. This one is going to be a lot of questions and not stopping it. Chapter 4, Law and Order. When law and order, as you have put it down, it says law and order can only be obeyed by people that know the laws and order. That's the question I put down. When I read that chapter, I was like, okay, law and order. I can only let me paint a picture to you. Law and order is the backbone of a developing nation. Resources is
of
not
a developed nation.
of developed nation. Resources is not what make nations develop. Those who have enough resources in terms of human capacity, in terms of resources, everything that does not have law and order, they are still rated as third world. Compared to those who have bad, what I call it, weather, no land, no few people are not. They are championing the world. But my question is, in a nation where I don't even know what the law means, what is the law? What is the order? In a nation where I know the law, I know the order, and I cannot claim or enjoy the provisions that I got from it. Instance. You and I were harassed at a place where we went to have a live show on a campus by officers who are supposed to respect our rights as stated under the law. So, if I even know the law, that this is the law, but I know the officer of law will not respect it. If I even know the order, but I know if I follow the order, I will be left behind. The order will have gone ahead of me. They will have done better things because they avoid the order. That's my own side. Another side is, I don't even know what the law or the order says. How do I enjoy it? How do I obey it? These are another serious chaos in Nigeria. It's a chaos. Those who even make the law, they made it the law not because they want to obey or they believe in that law. They make it for the sake of there's a need to make law so that people will not say we're just sitting down. And so when they make the law, they are not interested in should we follow the law? Even we. Now, Dr. Bamshai, be pragmatic, be sincere. Do you think this is practicable in Nigeria as it were? If it does, how can it come to be?
Nigeria right now cannot have law and order without data and identity management.
Come again, please.
Nigeria cannot have law and order without data and identity management.
Oh,
it's impossible. You urinate on the street. Where will I find you to? You are not even registered to any address. The policeman harassing people, the number on his clothes is just like that. He has no real correlation. You go and report a case in the police station, they wrote it on one paper. You came back, they said they lost it. It's not on any central system, no central. So the ideas that are basically argued in the book, and the book was in two parts. I wanted to be able to show, not in terms of complaint, but to argue, to let people see that we need this thing, and this is what not having it has cost. And this is exactly why we have the kind of society we have right now. So, like you have said, is the truth. Right now, it's impractical to expect law and order in Nigeria. It's not practical, it's not pragmatic. Every other thing, like I said, will be treating its symptoms. Look at now, Lagos, they did a road, did barricade with barbed wire. It was still Nigerians who went and did what? Cut it. The government did road, they did manholes and then put manhole cover. Manhole is meant to be for what's it called? Where they put water channels. I forgot the name they call it, but just to avoid what's it called? This flooding, so that water can pass and dirt will not enter it. And then if they have to clean it, they know how to go inside and then clean it. Our people will remove the manhole covers. Nigerians will. And so what happens is that when death comes, death just goes into that manhole and blocks all the channels through which water was meant to be flowing. So you see many situations where Nigerians are the ones creating more problems for Nigerians. Then what's the problem? Because they have no idea of what law and order is. Look at traffic management in Nigeria. The basic cause of traffic many times is not even the bad road. If a government official says that, now I am sure Nigerians want to eat him raw. But look, you just check out Nigerians drive on the road. We'll come to the point of, yes, these laws, are they being enforced? Then we need to get to the place of enforcement. And I agree. But with the setup of Nigeria now, with the setup of lack of identity management, it's very hard to expect that there will really be a form of law and order.
Yeah, I
I don't know if you understand my point.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I said I don't know if you understand my
Very clear. Very clear. Very clear. I really think because of our time, we have I don't want to exceed the time you gave, but this last one I will not want you to go until you explain this last one. Because this one we are going to take it further with you on how we can partner. We were trying to start a movement, and it's going to be a nationwide movement of citizens' responsibility. What we intend to do with this movement is we want to start awakening the mindset of Nigerians. Me and some people are already planning, working on it. And it's going to be a wide, worldwide, national propagation where we try to let Nigeria know that the responsibility of our nation belongs to us and us alone, first and foremost. But it's becoming difficult. Let me share an example with you. There is something they call OES in Osho State. That OES organization is like this federal government project for graduates. What they call them now? This federal government job for graduates. I forgot the name. That when you finish service, Empower. It's a replicant of Empower in Oshun. So they call them OES. So it's made up of youths from different communities. They employ them. What they need to do, some of them are into teaching, some of them are into clearing of roads, some are doing different kind of things. So they are having their meeting in this community where I am, where happen to be their headquarters. So they do meet weekly, maybe every Friday or something, in thousands of them. So I approached their coordinator and I said I would love to address them on citizens' responsibility. And he gave me the platform and I spoke with them. And I said, we are willing to work with you. All we want you to do is identify problems in your community and then formulate yourself. Call me. I will come. We will put our hands together and look for a way of solving that problem. They are all excited, but wait, the excitement fly away when I said, but please, we don't pay. We are looking for dedicated and volunteers. Oh, that one. Before I know it, sir, it remain only me. It was the connector.
Everybody left.
It was the connector calling them back. Why will you be walking away like that? Because he said, we'll not pay you. Come again, come back here. I said, They thought maybe I would just say anyone who is ready to get himself involved in this kind of a thing will be getting this certain amount. Tell you, my brother, if I said that, by now every one of them will be on their toes looking for problem. They say, okay, let's go and clear the bush of our. But because I said we are not going to pay, but we are going to support and be part of it. Together, we will do a direct labor. We will build our primary schools ourselves. We will build our health center. We will go and cover the potholes. We will go and dig well. We will do this and that. They were like, good one, understand? Hey. But when I say we don't pay, they simply said, I had one of them saying, look at what he said. He said, this is a good program, but this one they don't pay, who will be part of it? So it dawned on me that Nigerians does not understand anything. It dawned on me that we are these people. What are they thinking? So when I come across this concept in your book as well, I say, wow, somebody is thinking. And then, doctor, we need to take this particular concept and turn it to a national propagation. And you are going to talk about this off camera, but I really want you to share light on how we can consciously take this we can take this thing to the consciousness of every youth in Nigeria. One of the things we are registering with also State youth is for the sake of this. The moment we get our registration done with Osun State, the first thing we are starting is this citizens responsibility movement. That's what we call it. And that movement is going to hit every local government like tsunami. But I need you to share your own idea about it, please.
Yeah, I think people must understand that nations are built by citizens. Nations are built by citizens. And no matter how good built the government of a country is, they are the best, or they can't solve all of the problems. There's no country in the world where government is able to solve half of the problem of the country. Those who solve the rest, and majority of it, are the citizens. I'll give you an example. It's not like there are no private institutions in America, but the average rich person in America, instead of sending his kid or her kid to one posh place where we pay millions, you know what he will do? He will send his or her kid to the public institution and then use that million as donation to the university, or use it to set up a scholarship foundation for people in that same school able to pay tuition. And that's why when you go abroad, let's say America, and you want to school, you see they tell you to apply to different scholarships, and you'll be seeing different family names. People in their will leave monies to schools and institutions. I don't know if you get the point. But it is that it got to a point, and anybody who listens to me know I like this quote. Maybe not the man, but at least the quote. Richard Nixon said Americans must be reminded that the greatness of America does not lie in what the government does for the people, but what the people do for themselves and for one another. And I said that Nigerians must be told, Nigerians must be taught that the greatness of Nigeria will not be in what the government can do for the people, but what the people can do for themselves and for one another. Let's take our bad roads, for instance. Bad community roads, not even the main road, just the ones in the street. You will see a man build a house, 3.4 million, 5 billion. In fact, there's a church that was built for 1 billion in Nigeria, and the road leading to that church is nonsense. They will build this big buildings with a lot of money, but they cannot come together to say this road, let us fix it.
We can't hear you. You are breaking.
I said they will build these big houses, but to say let's come together and fix this road is a problem. And the ones that not even think of it, the moment they want to say let's come and build this road, that's when the youth of that community will come out and say you have to pay us this amount before you can do this. Then you see we have a very big problem, because very few people think of corporate social responsibility. And the few that do it are being frustrated by these other egocentrical idiots who are only thinking of what they will eat. You know, the average Nigerian does not know, for instance, again, that while he solves his own problem, the problem of the next door neighbor is going to give him an headache very soon if he does not help the neighbor to solve it. Let me give you an idea. If you walk across my street now, you will see everywhere is flooded.
Please come close to your camera, please.
If you walk across my street here, you will see everywhere is flooded. But a rich man will do the gutter of his own house. He will just do that of his own house. But he does not know that the flood coming from the other person's place is going to pass through.
Of course.
So at the end of the day, you see the gutter is high, but the road is low. Because just your own, I forgot what they call it now. The fact that you have a gutter where water can pass through in front of your own house is not going to save you from the flood that has been coming from other places. So just that idea is an allegory of how we do not pay attention to society, to contribute our own quota, to help development, to get kids off the street. When we don't do that, their headache becomes ours. Because it is those guys who are not in school, not getting education, that becomes riffraffs and thief that terrorize the street. Because all they've grown up to see is survival. And now that they are not surviving, they feast on you. But if you had known, you would have contributed somehow to seeing how they can be in school. Let me give you another example, sir. Do you know that the amount Nigerians spend on fuel every year for generator? Do you know it can fix electricity in Nigeria? Do you know?
It can power.
It can fix electricity in Nigeria.
The amount Nigeria spend on generator.
Not just buying it, fueling it.
Fueling it. Wow.
Just take an average out.
Wow.
But if we were to say, okay, let's contribute money to meeting set, Nigeria will be saying that's not our job, government. I know. I'm not excusing the government. But I'm saying at some point, we need to forget that we have a government, because it's as though we don't even have anyone.
Okay.
We need to be our own government. And then we'll see how fast we would have developed if we begin to take more responsibility for our communities. We begin to take more responsibilities for the less privileged. And then in doing that, we need to also work on something which is a cancer to corporate social responsibility.
Come again, please.
It's called the cancer of enterprise. I said, in also teaching people to be responsible to the society, we must also address one cancer. Of course, I did not address it in that book, but I guess probably the next one I'm going to write, I'm going to address it. We must address the cancer of entitlement.
Cancer of entitlement.
The average Nigerian entitlement, yes. The average Nigerian feels entitled, but does not feel responsible.
When I am going to be having this man again, or this discussion, because we have not finished the chapters. We are just at chapter 5, and I am trying to rush him over some of the detailed one that is supposed to have gone down. So I'm still going to look for time when we can have another discussion like this on this particular book, that I think every one of us must have it. And if you intend to also be bought by this book for any child in Nigeria, you can reach out to me, or you can reach out to him and let him know how many copies you would love to buy, and then who you want him to send it to. We help you send it to them. Please, if there's anything you can do to change this country, For now, get them this kind of book. It will help. Let them read before you send the next money to them. They must read, summarize, and give you a feedback on the book. Not only will you buy it for anyone alone, you also need to buy this book and read it yourself. The book is titled Rebirth. Rebirth.
How values
And
transform
how
a
value
nation
can
as complex.
transform any society, like Nigeria.
A nation as complex as Nigeria.
We are, when you go back, we don't hear
Rebirth.
you.
Okay, rebirth. Rebirth. How values can transform a nation as complex as
How
Nigeria.
value can transform a nation as complex as Nigeria. That is the title of the book, and I really want you to get this book, share it with your friends and family, and let's see what we can do together. Dr. Bamshai, I am so privileged to have you, and thank you for your time this morning to share this knowledge with us. And I hope we can have you again next time to discuss this.
By God's grace. We are together.
Thank you very much, sir. Team, I will next time we meet again, my friends. My name remains Dragunis Balogun, and do have a wonderful day. Bye.